So the more I dig into these individuals that surround Hassan, the more I realize they do not have jobs and they are strictly unemployable because of statements they have made. Frogan, for instance, I no longer believe he is employed because I just don't believe any healthcare organization, big or small, would employ someone with that particular take on U.S. soldiers. Mike from PA, he's done something even worse, in my opinion. Again, they all kind of do extreme things to get attention and to grift and get money. He's done a good job grifting. This guy has been banned or was recently banned for his statements on demonic. I'm just going to use demonic. And he was a Republican, or he became a Republican so he could run. He listed his occupation as a lawyer when he was a law school graduate who had neither taken nor passed the bar and who was not presently engaged in working with the law in any way. So there were, I believe, 7 judges. One judge thought, okay, it was that he definitely did that, but it wasn't enough to stricken him from the ballot, right? Electors were misled by the defect to the effect of potentially defeating their right to nominate on fair information. Defects arising from good faith may be amendable, and that's where the disagreement was. There were 7 judges. One judge thought that, okay, it's bad, but it's not that bad that he cannot run for office. The other 6 judges said, nah, it's really bad. At this point, he was 29 years old. That was 6 years ago, so he's either 35 or 36 now, so he is around my age. I just turned 38 in July. I cannot imagine going to law school and not at least sitting for the bar. I don't know. Why did you pay that much money to go to law school? Or why did you waste 3 years of your life going to law school if you never wanted to be a lawyer, but then in your occupancy, you said that you were a lawyer? I don't know. This is very strange. Law school is not cheap. I don't know what law school he went to, but all law schools are generally very expensive because they're grad schools. And for the most part, there's not that much scholarship available, especially when you compare it to the university level. So, what is his job? His job is to provoke people, to grift on the Twitch, which I don't watch Twitch, but it seems like a place that really welcomes this type of grifter, the more extreme, and they don't really ban him for very long. He's probably, as of recording this video, I would not be surprised at all if he has returned from the ban, which is really bad. So, my question, I think I've answered this myself, is what type of individual in the healthcare industry would think that talking about U.S. soldiers and PS and wishing them what Frogan said, I don't even want to repeat it. It's so nasty because I don't want a clip out of me just spliced and me saying that, because that would be out of context. That would be incredibly terrible. But she said it in context, and she said it with her chest pounding out, right? Then you got Mike from PA, who literally ran for office, but 6 out of 7 judges thought that he had so misled, in terms of what his job was. Yikes! I mean, yikes! I can tell you, when you go to law school, to be a lawyer, you have to pass a bar exam. At day one that there's something that you have to take during summertime after you graduate law school, which will determine if you are a lawyer or not. You even register. You even are registered. You have a number. You have a lawyer number. There's no way Mike from PA did not understand. So I disagree with that one judge that he is not a lawyer. There is no doubt in my mind. I mean, he's got classmates. He's got friends who are lawyers who passed the bar exam. He didn't even sit for the bar exam. This is very weird. This is not somebody's opinion. I would take it. I've seen the YouTube channel. I know he's much bigger on Twitch, but I've seen the YouTube channel. Okay, so let's read this again. The Supreme Court order states that Breyer listed his current occupation as lawyer when he was a law school grad who neither taken nor passed a bar exam and who was not presently engaged in working with the law in any way. So then why did he list his occupation as lawyer? It does not make sense, in my opinion. The Supreme Court's decision was not unanimous. One of the court's 7 judges, Justice Max Bauer, filed a dissenting opinion. Bauer disagreed that Breyer made a knowing and material misrepresentation warranting the striking of his name on the ballot. Bauer said the Commonwealth Court had made a specific factual finding that Breyer had no intent to deceive the electorate by listing his occupation as lawyer, but rather believed he was a lawyer because he studied law school and graduated from law school. This is pretty bizarre in my opinion, and again, the other 6 judges were against this decision. This was the dissenting decision. But who would lie about this? Like, it's so obvious. They would just check the online database. So the online database has existed for this time. Assuming he graduated law school when he was 24, 25, yeah, it would have well past it, before. They would just simply check the database. Your competitor would just check the database, realize that you are not barred in Pennsylvania. Then when they would check every other database and realize, whoa, this guy didn't even sit for the bar exam, and he's claiming he is a lawyer. And you might be like, oh, he wasn't claiming. No, he was. Occupation, like, you have a decision to make. You could just not say, you could just say, like, jobless, right? You could be like, oh, I don't have a job. Or I work at Dunkin' Donuts or something like this. But the level of delusion, the level of lying, I personally consider this a lie. The reason I consider it a lie is because 6 out of the 7 judges were so appalled by this behavior, they took him out of the ballot. As an American citizen, like, taking yourself out of the ballot, the ability to run for office, public office, is an inherent right? Like, you have that right to do, and it takes something very, very bad for them to take that right away, because it's one of the rights that U.S. soldiers fight for. Shout out to Frogan. Bizarre. Very bizarre behavior. Very nonsensical. Did he need to lie? No. Why did he lie? I don't know. Did he know he lied? I'm almost certain he knew he lied, because you do not go to law school, pay a shit ton of tuition, not take the bar exam, have all your friends take the bar exam. Some will pass, some will fail, some will retake, but all of them are trying to take the bar exam. Otherwise, why did you go to law school? What was the point of spending that money and that time and that dedication? Law school is not easy. Law school is pretty tough. You could have dropped out any time, and then your occupation wouldn't be lawyer. The idea that you would graduate from law school and not take the bar exam is so appalling to me, because, like, that's a waste of time and money that could have been spent on anything else, right? And the last thing we would probably need is more lawyers, but here we are discussing a failed law school grad. Like, you can't even call him a lawyer, okay? It is, in fact, he's in Pennsylvania. The state Supreme Court essentially said this guy in his job forms should not be putting down lawyer, because he's not one. Very bizarre, very strange, and completely unemployable at this time. Like, if somebody's willing to lie about, like, if they're a lawyer or not, which, if you do lie about it bad enough, and you do have clients, luckily Mike he doesn't have to worry about having clients, right? But if your clients realize that they're being represented by, if the clients believe you're a lawyer and you're representing yourself as a lawyer because you said I'm a lawyer, or your occupation is a lawyer, you can actually go to jail. Like, I'm not joking. Like, you can go to jail for pretending to be a lawyer in many states in the U.S. And in Texas, you could go to jail. In New York, you can go to jail. I have to look into Pennsylvania, but I assume it's the same. You cannot misrepresent yourself as a lawyer. Luckily for Mike, he did not have a client, nor will he ever have any legal clients. So, just simple mistake, I guess. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Give this video a like. I love covering this. Like, this is like Carl Jobs, but like every one of them is like an urge cat, and it's like Jesus, how many of these people exist? And they're just kind of making money from saying things that would not make them employable. That's my conclusion here. Is you gotta, it's what they say. You gotta set the when it's like what Cortez said. We gotta set the boats on fire, right? We're not going back home until we conquer this area. That probably offended some people. So I'll say in Chinese, what is it? The Art of War. They have like a story about like, hey, you have to break all the rice pots because no one's eating today. We're going out and we're fighting, and we're either going to die or we're going to starve from hunger. So we have to break all the rice pots. So no one's thinking, oh, I'm just going to eat some rice tomorrow. No, there's no food tomorrow. You got to fight today. Anyway, bye guys. I probably butchered that thing. Probably butchered both of those. Anyway, let me know if I'm right or wrong about it. Leave me a comment below.